Hey guys, it's Dennis and Kulika.
Hi.
And this is the video you've been waiting for. Kulika's going to be making the 1,000 subscriber cake. Are you up for that, Kulika?
Yeah, I can't wait to make it and eat it too.
Yeah, so this will be the making of it. And in the next video, we'll do the celebration and eat it. So what kind of cake are you making for the subscriber cake, Kulika?
It's just a traditional white cake that my mom always used to make, like for birthdays and any kind of celebrations. It's a celebration cake for whatever occasion. Just a simple white cake, actually. So
now Kulika will tell you the ingredients for the cake.
Well, the ingredients are pretty simple. There are actually 3 ingredients. There is flour, there is eggs, and there is sugar. So that's pretty much all you need. Now, a simple rule of thumb for this cake to turn out good would be to use however many eggs you use. Let's say you're using 7 eggs. Then you would need 7 tablespoons of flour and 7 tablespoons of sugar. Now, since you always put something sweet between the cake, because you layer the cake and put icing and stuff on top of it, and it will be sweet anyway, so I always try to cut down on sugar. So I'm putting 5 tablespoons of sugar here. And now, since the sugar has an important part to play in the integrity and like the structure of the cake, so texture probably would be the better word. So I add 2 teaspoons of baking powder to make sure that the cake would like raise properly and be nice and fluffy. Otherwise, you wouldn't need it. So if you put 7 tablespoons of sugar here, you won't need baking powder. But I'm putting 5 tablespoons, so that's why I need to add some baking powder just to make sure that the cake would raise properly.
Yeah, and this way you have less sugar and it's a little healthier cake.
And in regards to salt, you don't really need salt. My mom never put salt here, but you can put just a little tiny pinch of salt if you want.
And here are the ingredients after for decorating the cake. What do we have here, Kulika?
So yeah, once the cake comes out of the oven, then it will. You need to cool it down. And I always cut it into 2 layers because I put icing both on top of the cake and between the layers. And the way I make the icing, usually I use whipped cream.
Yeah, there's whipped cream.
And cream cheese.
There's the cream cheese.
And I add just a little bit of sugar just to blend it all with it.
What's this cocoa powder for?
And cocoa powder, you don't really need it, but I want to write 1,000 on it. So I'm gonna use. I first thought I'm gonna do that with these little chocolate pieces. I'm gonna just, because I have done that previously for the other channel. Like I could have written the number with chocolate pieces, but that's kind of hard to do. So I figured it's probably easier if I just add a little bit cocoa powder into icing, and then put it in a plastic bag, cut the corner, and write it.
Right, 1,000. So there's the apricot jam. She's going to put in the middle. She'll cut it into 2 layers, and then she'll put that in the middle. And then the cherries here, Kulika, what are you going to do with them?
Yeah, cherries are from our own garden, so...
Yeah, look at those guys.
Nice fresh cherries. I just picked before we got started with that cake thing.
And what will you do with them?
I'm gonna just line them around the cake to make a nice bright border.
That'll look beautiful, yeah. There's the pop, guys. She's been here the whole time listening to us make the video. She's got an itch. So did you want to say anything else about this cake before you start mixing it? Yeah,
actually it doesn't have to be apricot jam, but I always soak the cake, like both layers, the top layer and bottom layer.
Yeah.
I soak with something to make it nice and juicy, otherwise it'll be kind of dry. So the way I usually do it, like if I use apricot jam to put between the layers, then I soak the cake with coffee usually.
Oh?
Yeah, coffee.
Okay. The layers,
apricot and coffee, these flavors will just go nicely together. But then if I use some sour, like some acidic juice, like cranberry juice or cherry juice or something like that to soak it, then I would put some different kind of jam, like some either raspberry or strawberry.
Okay.
Between the layers, and then cream cheese on top of it, and then the layer and the icing on top.
Okay, so then let's get ready here and you start mixing the cake.
Now, one important thing I want to point out is that you really, once in order to get a good stiff foam with eggs, you really have to make sure that there is no grease or nothing like that on the bowl or on the blender, because if you have been making some greasy like some icing or something before and haven't rinsed them off properly, then little tiny grease particles, they will make it so that the foam wouldn't become stiff. So that's very important.
Okay. Okay, well, start adding your ingredients. So you're separating the egg?
Yeah, I separate because it's easier to get a stiff foam.
Okay.
If you do the whites first.
Yeah. So she got the eggs all separated, and now what you're gonna do?
And now I will blend the whites until stiff peaks form, and then I'm gonna add egg yolks gradually.
Okay.
And actually sugar, once I get the stiff peaks, then I put sugar in first, before I add yolks.
Okay.
Looks like the texture is starting to get right, so now I'm gonna add sugar. Like this.
Kulika's going to add the egg yolks right away, but wanted to show you the oven. So we turned the oven on and we set the temperature to 350. So while that's warming up, she's going to add the egg yolks. So it's looking pretty good, Kulika?
Yeah, it's not quite stiff peaks yet, but I'm getting kind of impatient, so I'm gonna add the egg yolks and I just keep doing it until it gets kind of stiffer. But then, as I said, I don't put enough sugar, so it won't get very stiff. That's why I add baking powder. So I'll be kind of relying on baking powder to make the cake nice and fluffy.
So she got all the egg yolks in now, and then you're gonna mix it some more, right?
I'm gonna blend it until I feel like blending it. It's actually, the longer you do it, the better, because you get like a stiffer foam, and that will be actually very important to make sure the cake would be nice and fluffy. But I'm also, as I said, I didn't put enough sugar, so I won't get as stiff peaks as I would with more sugar. So that's why I'm relying on the baking powder to do the job for me.
Okay, so you'll mix that for a while, and then you'll add the flour, and
then I'll gradually add the flour. Yeah. So it's very important to do it gradually and very carefully, so the foam wouldn't go down. So here I have a mixture of flour, baking powder, and a pinch of salt. And the way to do it is, it's like you have to stir. It's very important to be very gentle, because if the foam goes down, then the cake will be a kind of not very good. Then it won't be fluffy, because you really need to maintain this fluffiness. So the way I do it, like I stir with one hand and carefully shift with another. So you do a little bit shifting and then you stir it slowly and very carefully.
Yeah, she's made so many cakes, guys, over the years, and they're always perfect. But you know, one time it might happen where it's a flop, but hopefully not this one. Actually,
they are not always perfect. Sometimes they don't, because I always try to cut down on sugar. So if you would put more sugar, then it would be much easier to get the desirable consistency.
Well, all the cakes you've made that I've eaten are good, so I don't know how better they could have been. She makes great cakes, guys. So now you have all that flour in there, and you're just going to mix it slowly like this?
Yeah, you have to very carefully mix it to make sure it's all mixed. And you see the bubbles are coming. That's bad, because when more and more bubbles are coming, then that's how the foam goes down. So you have to be very careful. But it's unavoidable that some foam goes down. So you just don't want to stir more than needed.
She's getting the tin ready where the cake mix is going in.
Yeah, I always use that kind of tin, because this is the kind of tin where you can just remove this side and get the cake out in one piece.
Okay.
Because all other tins that where you can't remove the sides, I have never been very good at getting the cake out in one piece. So this is kind of safe.
Okay.
So, and I use coconut oil for creasing the tin. Just go in my hand like this.
So it's going in there right away, guys. The cake is it's going to be seen tonight. So now she's going to pour it in the baking tin. Yeah, look at that.
Oops. There's flour here in the bottom.
A little more stirring needed.
Yeah, you don't want to stir more than needed. But flour always goes to the bottom, so it's very fragile. Like if you stir it too much, it goes down immediately.
Yeah, look at that. She's putting it in the oven now.
I like how it turned out, so I think it's quite fluffy.
It's pretty good.
Now I can't shake it, or I have to be very careful.
That's a real hot oven, guys. 350 degrees. There. So how long will that bake, you think?
It's every time different time, so it depends on how big is the cake, and it's probably around 20 minutes or so.
So you'll check it and then go from there, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna check it with a toothpick when I think it's getting done. So somewhere in about 15 minutes or so.
You'll check it?
I'm gonna check with a toothpick.
Yeah, you don't want to burn it, so
No.
better to check it more often, right?
Yeah, this oven is pretty good actually. The old oven we had was kind of tricky to get it right.
Yeah, this is a new oven we have here.
So.
New stove. While the cake's in the oven, she's starting to prepare the icing now for the cake.
So I do the whipping cream and cream cheese separately. So I don't really put much sugar here at all because Shem is very sweet. So I just sprinkle a little bit of sugar to the cream cheese. I never measure it, just something like this, because it's easier to get it to creamy consistency. And I add just a little bit milk to cream cheese, so it will be blendable. So I blend the cream cheese with a little bit milk and tiny bit of sugar, and then I whip the whipping cream. And once they're both nice and smooth, then I put them together and whip a little more, and ready to go.
Okay.
So you see there is about this much milk in the bottom.
Yeah.
So not very much at all. So I just poke it around for a little while, and then I start it.
So she mixed them all together now. There's the icing, guys. So she's gonna check that cake. Gonna put a toothpick in there and do that test. See how it's doing. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, I can do the old toothpick test.
Looks pretty good.
How is it?
It's not done.
Okay.
It's wet. Have to go back to the oven.
She's been doing this for a long time, so she knows. Yeah, it's gonna go back in there for a while.
Have to be very careful not to shake it.
Then after it's done and cools off, she'll ice it up and decorate it. So what are you doing now?
Now I put a little bit of this icing into this bowl and some cocoa powder.
Oh yeah, okay.
And this will be for a writing 1000.
Right, right. Yes, she'll make a nice icing, a different color, so you can see the number 1000 on the cake. Yeah, it's gonna be great, guys. So she took it out of the oven and did a test, and is it done?
It's done, yeah.
Good, so you let it cool off a bit and then take it out of there, right?
Yeah, I'll let it cool a little bit, because I see the middle part has like kind of sank down a little bit, but that's not the end of the world. It's not very much, it's just lightly. So
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna let it cool down and then I'll slice it.
Then she'll slice it and she'll show you what she does from there. So here's the cake, guys. It's all cooled off. She's gonna slice it in half, and then she's gonna start the process of soaking it and putting jam in the middle and then icing it. There she comes with the icing. That's in that bowl. And here's the cherries for after. Wait till you see the finished product. You guys are going to want a piece, but I'm going to be the one eating it. And Kulika. There's the pop. Still hanging out. The whole time she's been hanging out here, and so good she is. Yeah. She'll be celebrating when we do the video of that. Look at that. 2 cakes. Double layer. So now what are you doing?
I'm soaking it with coffee. You can use any kind of like juice or whatever you want. But I don't really have any juice right now at hand, and with apricot jam, coffee goes very well.
It'll be a nice flavor.
Yeah.
She's just soaking it all. Look at that.
If you want, you can also put some brandy or something. But I sometimes just add while eating it.
Yeah.
A little touch of brandy.
Yeah, look at that.
Right on my plate.
You're not going to soak that cake yet?
You can't soak because you can't really move it anymore. Once you soak it, then you can't move it in one piece. So it's very important. So you just put it in on the dish where you want it to be, and then you soak it. So
now you're putting the apricot jam.
Yeah.
That filling in the middle.
Once it's soaked, it cannot be transferred to another plate.
Yeah, guys, you're seeing the process. The 1,000 subscriber cake on the More Pets and Us channel. Thank you very much for subscribing there and helping us reach that goal. Thank you. Yeah, look at this. So after she spread jam on that bottom one, she put a layer of icing, and then she put the other top on now. Look at that. So all she has to do now is ice this one, guys. So she put some more jam on the top part, and now she's going to ice it. We're getting there, guys. You're going to see the finished product pretty quick. Yeah. She'll let it sit in the fridge overnight and solidify, and usually these cakes are just wonderful the next day. Yeah. Look at it now. Look at it take shape. She's painting. There's the pop. What a good dog. Yeah. Yeah, you're going to celebrate tomorrow too, Cassie. 1,000 subscribers. Now the cherries are going on. Look at that. What a beautiful cake. Yeah, she'll go all around here. Then she's going to use this colored icing to make the 1,000 number. Almost done with the cherries.
Just one more.
Then she's going to write 1,000. Look at that, guys. You've seen this right from scratch. She started this. Look at that beautiful cake. No room for error here. Hope they all fit. She might only get 100 on there. No, I'm teasing. She'll get 1,000 on. Look at that. 100 subscribers. Yeah, I remember when we hit 100 subscribers on the other channel. We were so excited. Like, we weren't faking it. It was like we had 1,000,000 subscribers and we only had 100. I remember saying every big YouTuber had to go past 100 first. You know, that's how they started. Maybe they got 100 the first day, but they had to have 100 before they could go any farther. So we were excited then, and we're still excited. 1,000's a big deal too. Look at this, 1,000. Yeah.
I have so much of this chocolate, the icing left, so I think I'm gonna go around and try to make something fancy here around to cover up that mess here.
Yeah, she's creative when it comes to cakes. A lot of things, but she really enjoys doing this. And her cakes are really good too. Like, a lot of family members just say they're so good and they always enjoy them. So this is the real deal, guys. Homemade cake. So there it is, guys. It's complete. The 1,000 subscriber cake. It's beautiful. So great job on that cake.
I'm pretty happy how it turned out, yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful. It looks like it's such a hard process though. Was it hard to do all this?
Not really. I like making cakes.
Good thing for me because I like eating them. So thanks for watching, guys. That's that video of the cake making for 1,000 subscribers. So while we're on that topic, if you're new here, please subscribe to our channel. Let's go way over 1,000 now. But we really appreciate for the ones that did help us get to 1,000. And then the notification bell, make sure you click that so you're always notified when we get new videos out. So we'll see you in the next one when we celebrate with this cake.